let me tell you something, bruh. I find it so funny that we got a bunch of Switch 2 fanboys acting as if the Switch 2 gonna be far better, or should I say more successful than the Switch 1. But guess what? By the time we reach next year, the Switch 2 might be forgotten. And y'all like, gangster, explain what? I don't understand what you're getting with this video. Think about it. You got the ROG Ally. You're going to have way more powerful devices than when you're getting with the Switch 2, including the Steam Deck 2. And all you people say, oh, well, we're still going to sell in the millions. No, you're not. Because games like Grand Theft Auto 6, Resident Evil 9, and all these other third-party games are going to be skipping your platform. They're like, oh, snap. They thinking they system's powerful because we running a Cyberpunk that also runs on the Steam Deck, which happens to have the same specifications as a PS4. You're running Street Fighter 6, a PS4 game, claiming that it's next gen for Nintendo. The Nintendo community is embarrassing. Y'all ain't got one next generation game on your platform, and you acting as if this platform gonna take over. And like I've said before, Xbox fanboys have become the new PC ones. You got PlayStation fanboys becoming the new Xbox fanboy. And now you got Nintendo fanboys acting like Sony fanboys. And I guarantee the excuse that they're going to use, well, it's my exclusives. That's what Nintendo's dependent on. They seen that games like Animal Crossing sold 60 or possibly 80 million. So now they're banking on that, that idea. That analogy, they're banking on it. Like, okay, there's clearly enough people that are going to buy. But see, the problem is the Switch 2 is a grown man system. The Switch 1 was for casuals. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be as successful as even remotely the PS5 even. And let me explain this. Now, I did go on record saying that I think the Switch 2 would have been more successful than the PS5. But you got to remember, the PS5 is getting a lot of games that the Switch 2 ain't. Unless you think the Switch 2 is getting Resident Evil 9 and games of that nature, or even Grand Theft Auto, and that's coming out next year. Now we know the release date to these games. There's going to be a lot of third-party games that the Switch 2 is going to be missing out on. And I'm telling you, by the time that GTA 6 come out, ain't nobody going to care about a Nintendo Switch 2. Y'all like, what? That is a very strong statement, Gamester. We'll see. Because I'm telling you right now, Pokemon Legends, or whatever they got coming out, AZ, whatever, Z and A, that game's going to expose the narrative. Because if that game comes out and they don't sell within the millions on Switch 2, not Switch 1, then the Switch 2 is going to be in trouble. I think we might have potentially a Wii U situation where Nintendo's going to have to depend solely on their exclusives. And let's be honest, I think the Switch was successful due to its price point, $300, $200 for a Lite. $500 ain't no parent buying their kid a console for $500, bro. Now, they probably spend that, because think about it. Would you rather buy a PS5 for $399 and Grand Theft Auto 6 possibly $400, the biggest hyped game in the world? Or would you rather buy a Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart for $500? The value proposition ain't there. I'm telling you, poor little Timmy gonna pick up the PS5 instead. It is what it is, man. I think that's why Sony dropped the price, because they're like, yo, we're gonna secure that by next year. They know what's going on here. You Nintendo fanboys is crazy thinking that the Switch 2 is gonna do far better than the Switch 1. It's not. That's what Nintendo's projecting to you. But I'm telling you, man, you can tell the hype has already died down, bro. The Switch has barely been out for a week, and yet I kind of barely don't even hear people talking about it. I'm being serious. Matter of fact, there was more hype with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Y'all like, oh, snap, you're right. I remember when people was fighting. I mean, remember those videos that Turboverse used to do when he's like, oh, man, people trying to get one in line and this. You don't see those videos. Do you see people? Oh, that's because they had enough to stock and everybody got one. That's why. Man, you Nintendo fanboys have to cut the cap. The Switch 2 is not as popular as you dudes want to make it, and we can see right through it. Yeah, it did well initially, but so did the Wii U. And the funny thing is, I'm telling you, because I'm looking at it in preparation for the future, I don't know, man. GTA 6? Who's going to want a Switch 2, man? And then you got platforms such as the Steam Deck 2, ROG Ally X, and it's only going to get far better And the value proposition in buying a Switch 2 has just become obsolete. Because I'm telling you, after seeing that ROG Ally, I wanted a Switch 2 in the inevitable future. I was going to buy one secondhand, kind of just play and I probably will, but mostly secondhand and wait for the prices to drop or whatever. But after seeing that ROG Ally, I don't even want the Switch 2 at all, not even for $300. Y'all like, damn, Gamester, for real? Because the exclusives is just not enough for me, man. You're going to be missing out on a lot of, but we got GTA 5 now and Red Dead Redemption 2. But guess what? That's not going to flock the casual gamers. Oh, we finally got Fortnite updated. Like, yo, you really think the casual gamer cares about you? You think they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to pick up the Switch 2 so I can play the same games that I'm already playing on my PS5 already? I don't think they're going to do that, man. No matter how many good, the only reason as to why the Switch 2 is getting ports is because they're still putting games on the PS4. But I've also did tell people, when they start focusing mostly on PS5 and Xbox Series X games, which we have been seeing, how many of these games are going to go to the Switch 2? Not very many. Now you got Nintendo fanboys capping talking about, but Cyberpunk, it runs better than the PS4 version. That's because CD Projekt Red did not update it, but it runs pretty well even on the Steam Deck, which is equivalent to a PS4. So cut the cat, man. I'm sorry, man. Y'all like, I thought I'm unsubscribing. I thought you was a Nintendo fanboy channel. No, I'm here to tell you the truth, man, because I'm actually quite concerned in the future of Nintendo. But we got people like this fool right here out here damage controlling, banking off the success of the Wii, similar to what he did with the Wii, and then look what happened with the Wii U. We might have something very similar, and people have to understand, the Switch 2 is not doing nothing really that crazy and different. The Switch 2 is more of a refinement of what the Switch 1 is. Most parents are going to be happy with their kids having a Switch 1. Man, hey, even myself included, I'm happy with just having a Switch 1. I'm just happy. The control configuration is the same. Yeah, you're missing out on a few key components and features, but and maybe some in regards to games, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy, man. The experience is the same. And matter of fact, some of the games that I enjoy aren't even playable on the Switch 2 because they have problems with its backwards compatibility, which happens to be emulation. That was a Nintendo. You messed up right there. Y'all really try to do emulation with the Switch 2 for Switch 1 games? Bro, that just shows you that nothing on the Switch 2 when it comes to Switch 1 backwards compatibility is native. It's trash, bro. I don't know, man. Y'all gonna defend this regardless, man. Y'all gonna defend it. You're gonna buy it. That's fine. But at the same time, the casual gamer ain't gonna buy it with you, man. And I think if people starting to wise up, I think people are starting to see the truth in the garbage of the Switch 2, bro. Because after seeing that ROG Ally, I'm like, man, I was planning on getting a Switch 2 secondhand market, whatever used. And I'm like, man, I don't even think I want one. Because then I looked at it, I'm like, okay, the Nintendo games. But it's like, But even then, to me, it's more of a package deal. I really feel like what people are saying with the Switch 2 in regards to drop the price, I think they need to drop the price. It needs to go back to $350, $299. I'm telling you, man, this is going to hurt Nintendo. And you people saying that it's not, after wanting to play these games like Resident Evil 9, Grand Theft Auto, bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I give it until next year, the hype of the Switch 2 will die. I don't care what type of games Nintendo got coming out. I'm telling you right now, man, y'all like Gamester, I see where you're coming from. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm just speculating and having people open up their minds and be like, okay, not everything is sunshine and roses over here. You know, it might be potentially bad for Nintendo when you look at it from that perspective, because I feel that the average consumer is not going to care about it. Most of the average consumers already have a Switch 1 and already content with playing that. No different than how the Wii U and the Wii U was. Oh, well, yeah, the Wii U is just an HD Wii. I'm kind of happy with my Wii. Don't really need to upgrade to a Wii U. That might happen with Switch 2. And the fact that the Switch 1 is a very similar experience to the Switch 2, besides graphical fidelity and all the other things that are included, that is not going to entice the casual, especially with the price tag, entice the casual consumer in wanting to buy one. This device specifically was made for the hardcore Nintendo gamer. I'm telling you, bar none. And we'll see how hardcore you guys are, you know? But I will say that this system might be the worst third party that Nintendo has ever had, which is crazy because now you have the power, but now we're getting into the transition period where PS5 and Xbox Series X are abandoning the old gen. You know, you might get Black Ops 7 if it drops on PS4. You might get those last generation games. But by the time the new Xbox and the new PlayStation 6 come out, you are getting nothing. This is what y'all don't understand. Y'all not going to get no games. You're only lucky playing your little Final Fantasy 7 PS4 Intergrade. That's what you guys are playing, man. This is sad, bro.
For years of the Nintendo Switch 1, Nintendo has finally released the long-awaited sequel to that system, one of their best-selling, and probably will end up being their best-selling device of all time.
And also, too, the Switch 2 doesn't really have the benefit of running off a gimmick. It's more of like a refinement. You know, oh, better fidelity, better frame rates in older games. I mean, to the most casual consumer, they don't care about that. As long as they can still play the same games. I don't know if Pokemon Z and H dropping on last gen, but I guarantee that version is going to outsell the Switch 2 version. Well, of course, there's a higher install base. But that also showed you that there's not that much of a demand for people to want to go pick it up on Switch 2. I'm just saying.
Nintendo Switch 1 with the Nintendo Switch 2. We finally have this system in our hands, and what I'm going to do is
the funny thing is, it looks exactly like the Switch 1, except the difference is, well, I know the differences, but I'm just doing it to be trolling, that there's a 1 and that one has a 2 in the back. The casual gamer is going to look at this platform, and they're going to sit there and be like, well, I don't really need that. Oh, well, we got exclusives. We got Mario Kart World, and they're probably still going to play Mario Kart 8. This is not going to stop people from playing on the platforms they already have on. What special thing? What's going to entice me to want to buy this? Yeah, exclusives, maybe. But even then, like the third party, like, I mean, you got to think about it. Collectors don't want it because of game key cards. You got to remember the Switch 1 hit it in all categories. It had great third party, even though some of it ran pretty bad, but it had it offered. So people didn't feel left out in some ways. It had great exclusives. It had a lot of good games. You feel me? What does the Switch 2 offer any different besides maybe a few exclusive games that you're going to miss out on? And a few upgrade refinements to the same games that are available on Switch 1. That's not going to entice the casual consumer to buy it. Sorry. Only the Nintendo diehard will. Because you guys sit there and say, oh, well, yes, they would. Yes, it would. It would entice them. Then explain why nobody was enticed to go from the Wii to the Wii U. Even though the Wii U was way better in every regard than the Wii was, and it was HD. Okay? I'm telling you, Nintendo gamers, they'll have to understand you are a secondary platform. You have never been a primary platform. This is why you left home consoles in the first place. And this is why Nintendo felt more comfortable putting out a portable instead of a home console, or should I say merging the two brands together, because guess what? Your home consoles were embarrassingly trash. Now that they merged them together, now we're going to see the rudiments of the whole upgrade phase. Are people going to upgrade to this platform, especially at the price of $450 to $500? You got these Power PC gaming portables coming out, and I'm telling you, man, it's making the Switch 2 look bad in comparison. And even though people haven't got hip to it yet, people, as time goes on, they will, and they will see the less and less appeal of buying a Nintendo Switch. I don't know how Nintendo fanboys, I should say, don't see the writing on the wall.
Over a
This is why PC gamers say that console gamers are dumb, because they do stuff like this.
Comprehensive first impressions of the Nintendo Switch 2, the pros, the cons, positives, negatives, good and bad. LSS, or when they say, hey, look, you have 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, and you see how the games look on.
Now, I'm not saying Cyberpunk don't look pretty good on the Switch 2. I think it does, but this is not a next-gen game like y'all saying, though.
Your actual TV or the Nintendo Switch screen, and you could base it off of that. Now, clearly the Nintendo Switch 2 is not going to hit the performance levels of the PlayStation 5, despite being around
and it's already struggling. Like, you guys gotta understand, this is a early game for the PS4. Well, not an early game for the PS, but like a bridge between PS4 and PS5, and it's already struggling with a game like Cyberpunk. We haven't even got into the demand. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a demanding game. I know it is. It's open world or whatever. But I'm just saying its rudiments is from the PS4. Okay? So all this capping that y'all, oh, well, it didn't run well on PS4. That's because CD Projekt Red did not update the PS4 version. But it runs on the Steam Deck pretty decently. So that's how we know that this game wasn't pushing the boundaries. You know what game is pushing the boundaries that the Steam Deck is struggling with? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Monster Hunter Wilds. That game will probably never come to the Switch 2.
The same price for a PlayStation 5 digital or something, but it does offer that hybrid, essentially the same. So if you like the thin profile of whole,
yeah, and that's the problem. It feels the same. To the most casual gamer, they're gonna say it looks the same.
The Nintendo Switch 1 or the Switch OLED, you're going to be comfortable with this here. Now, with the bigger Joy-Cons, it does give you a little bit better feel on the system, at least.
I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I really don't think the Switch 2 is going to do better than the Switch 1. I really feel like it's not. I really think we're going to give it by next year. We'll see how well the Switch 2 does going into next year. I feel like right now it's going to be, it's going to survive. But we'll see when GTA 6 drops out. Gears E-Day, Marvel, there's going to be a lot of bangers, man. A lot of bangers. And the Switch 2 is not going to get any of it. I don't know. We'll see how strong really, when you guys said, let's see how strong Nintendo first party is. Yeah, let's see how strong their first party is. Let's see it. Because I feel like the Switch 1 was good because of the low entry fee into the greatness of the games that they offered. $500 to play Mario Kart World is ridiculous. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck. To me, when I buy a console, it's about the overall package. It's about the overall feel, the overall aspects of what I'm getting. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? It's about all the other stuff. It's not just about first party. Yeah, I like Xbox games, but if it was just Xbox titles on Xbox, I wouldn't want it. I want it because I'm like, oh, the Xbox titles is good. Oh, the third party's good. Oh, the indie game. It's more than just exclusives. I don't care about exclusives. Like, y'all act like, oh, people pick up the PS5 for exclusive. No, they don't. They pick it up mostly for the third party, but for the hardcore gamer, mostly for the overall aspects. Oh, we got the exclusives. Okay, no, it's not really exclusive. They're on PC, but still, you get what I'm saying. And they pick it up for the overall aspect of the platform. That's what I see in a platform. I'm like, okay, that's check mark, check, 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 check. Like if I see more check marks than X's, then that's what makes me want the platform. And unfortunately, with this console, I see nothing but X's. Exclusives, there's a check mark. That is it. Online, everything else that it offers, none. Backwards compatibility. Why do I need that when I got the Switch 1? Some games run better, some games don't. It's not consistent. That ain't good to me. I know people say, well, Xbox is emulation too, but Xbox Series runs their Xbox One games flawlessly. PS5 even struggles with that, with their PS4 titles for some games. Xbox, I haven't encountered a problem of playing an Xbox One game on the Series X. It's like 1-for-1 at times, bro. I'm being serious. When it comes down to the emulation, Xbox does it the best when it comes to consoles. But PS5 struggles a bit. Nintendo, as we've seen, struggles a bit. Some games are improved, some games are just worse. It is what it is. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. I think it's about time the Nintendo fanboy community gets humbled because I feel like we got too much of this. And hopefully you guys liked this new premise. This is just brainstorming, you know what I mean? We don't really know for sure, but at the same time, I want to keep people's minds open and say, hey, GameStop, that is a very good argument. You're right. By the time the Switch 2 leads into the next year, who knows? GTA 6 might take over. The hype is going to be all on that. And who's going to want to switch to then? I mean, I think if you priced it at $300, people would buy them like hotcakes. But I don't know, $450 to $500 paid for online, paid for voice chat for this trash. It's like a premium product, except the difference is you're not getting any premium aspects. The raw guy, if that's even remotely priced at $600, even the basic one, I'd rather go with that. I'd rather pay $150 extra for that than to get this because I get good old games. I get Xbox. I get Steam on it. I get everything. It's the value proposition here for me. And you know what? Better yet, free online. So you know that, PlayStation fanboys, I'll be able to play Helldivers 2 with free online on my Xbox handheld. While you ponies pay for it on PlayStation. We the market leaders. We the market leaders. Oh, yeah. I know. Y'all the market leaders. So enjoy paying for Helldivers 2 on PS5 while Xbox gamers pay nothing to play Helldivers 2 online. Take care, guys. Peace out.